What brings you to Daytona International Speedway?
So for me, I never ever race in December, so this was really different for me. Normally, as soon as I crossed the finish line in Kona, I'm like, done, off season is here, see you in January. However, Challenge family put together an amazing package for me to come and race in Daytona. I was going to be staying in a really nice beach apartment on Daytona Beach with an amazing view. And I never actually raced in America apart from Kona, so for me to come and race in Florida was quite exciting. And when I heard about the nature of the course, that we were actually going to be racing on the NASCAR circuit, all of the pros together, just doing laps, I was like, this does sound kind of cool. And then the other appeal was that it was going to be an evening race, so we're actually going to race under the floodlights. So yeah, it's completely different to anything I'd done before. So for me, I was like, yeah, I think I fancy it, but I'm probably never going to be in the shape that I'm in Kona, because I will have a bit of a break leading into this. As well as that, there was also the fact that I'm lying in third in the Challenge global ranking. So for me, I think if I were to win the race, I would move up to second place. And if I came second, then I'd be in joint second. If I was in third, I would stay in third. So there was that slight appeal to go and do the race, get those last few points, and then move up in the rankings and get a little bit more end of year bonus. So there was that as well, but that probably didn't motivate me enough to do quite as much training as I would have liked to for the race. But yeah, let's just go to Daytona and see what happens. That was my attitude. Yeah, so my prep for Daytona was very different to normal. As I said, when I finished the race in Kona, I'm like, right, chill time. I need to just let my hair down, have a bit of time off, and just kind of take myself away from swim bike runs. So I did do some training, but much less than I normally would. We had some road trips down to Cornwall with the family. I went with Reese's side of the family and mine. And during that I did a bit of riding, but mostly running. So Reese and I did an amazing half marathon run, which was along the Camel Trail. So that was my one long run leading into the race. And then the following day we went and did the Eden Project park run. So Reese and I did that, which was the most super weird, super cool park run, because it's actually in the Eden Project and you run 3 laps around and everything's going on, and it's actually quite hilly. And I think I did a really low 17-minute park run there. So I knew I still had a bit of speed in me, but I had not done enough of the base really to kind of think I was going to be able to do a good enough run in Daytona. On the swim side of things, I think I probably could count on one hand how many swims I did since Kona. I was lucky enough to go and swim down in Cornwall because they have a GLL facility down there. So Reese and I did do one early morning swim there. I think I did one endless pool swim at home. And Reese and I went to David Lloyd. We have a local David Lloyd who sponsored me and Reese, so we got to do an early morning swim there in the dark with all the steam coming off the pool. So that was really nice. But the swim I had not done a lot, so for me, yes, I can rely a little bit on my swim background, but I was slightly worried that my swim would let me down because I was doing the Pro AM relay as well. So I wanted to make sure I didn't let my team members down who had bid on me to be their swimmer. So I did 2 very good swims when I actually got to Daytona. They were both 5K swims, so I think that saved me a little bit. And as far as the bike goes, I'd done not much biking at all. I'd done a couple of indoor rides on Zwift, and then I'd done probably about 4 or 5 outdoor rides with the group that we ride with on a Sunday, and they were up to 4 hours. I think we did 2 of them were 4 hours, so again that definitely saved me, because I was really surprised how well I did bike in the race, considering the small amount of training I'd done. I think in 9 weeks I'd done about 60 hours training, so for me that's like non-existent. So my prep wasn't ideal, but then it never was going to be ideal when I've kind of been enjoying my off season and just ticking over my training. And actually I had done a fair bit of strength training as well, because this is the time of year where I try and eliminate any injuries cropping up in the second half of next year. So I'd done stuff, but nothing like my normal prep, so I didn't expect to have an amazing race. Kind of the race in Daytona was a long travel for us, so we had a 10-hour flight and then a 1-hour flight from Atlanta to Daytona. But even flying into Daytona was really cool because you fly kind of parallel along the beach, and it looks amazing. And then the airport is next to the NASCAR Speedway circuit. So even as you're flying in, you're like, oh my God, that's where I'm going to be racing. And it just looks really impressive. You've got thousands upon thousands. I think they said 120,000 seats. Probably correct me if I'm wrong, but the stadium was just crazy. And for us, you can just imagine the atmosphere when they're actually doing the NASCAR racing. So maybe next year we can get all the NASCAR fans in to actually watch us do the triathlon, because if that stand was packed full of spectators, that would have been incredible. But yeah, I had a really good first impression of Daytona. We were staying in an amazing apartment on the beach, so the views there were amazing. And then we were lucky enough to go and swim at the local YMCA outdoor swimming pool. So I did 2 good sessions there, like I said, in a nice outdoor pool, so that definitely helped my race. But yeah, it was just a cool place to go. I've never actually been to America apart from Hawaii, so to actually go to Florida and get some winter sun was nice as well, because it has been pretty miserable here in the UK. So the schedule in Daytona was pretty jam-packed, to be honest. We had loads going on, everything was going to be going on at the circuit itself, so that was kind of cool. It all basically started, I think the first time we headed over there was to do just a smallish bike session on the actual circuit, so get used to riding around the track. And that was really cool, because I remember first getting on my bike and looking at the banks and being like, oh, I don't think I'm going to go up those because they look so steep, they're so terrifying. And then within about 2 laps I was going up the banks, trying that out, dropping down, trying to judge if that was going to be faster in the race. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. Once we did that, we had our pro race briefing. And then after that we actually got to go in one of the cars on the NASCAR circuit, so we were going a tad faster than I've been going on my bike.
We are in a car about to go around the NASCAR Daytona International Speedway. We are
and
going
it's raining. I'm gonna go quick. Got to like 120 miles per hour on one of the bends, so the G-force is just pushing you back into your seat, and I just remember giggling like a little girl because I was half terrified but half loving it. And Reese was just like a little kid because he has been a NASCAR fan since he was little, so he's played all of the video games. I think him and his dad used to watch it on TV, so yeah, we were both really excited that we got to do that. After that we got to meet some of the members that were going to be doing the pro relay with us, so we had the Pro AM relay. So I actually got to meet David, who was going to be my biker. We got off to a great start because David bought me my favourite chocolates, and on the tag it said, do not eat until Sunday, which I'm sorry David, I did eat some of those chocolates before the race because they were so good. But yeah, it's always a winner when you get to meet the age groupers who are inspired by you and are going to be in your team with you. So that was really, really nice to get to meet them the day before the race. And then after that I think we ended the day with the pro press conference as well. So yeah, a busy day, quite a lot of banter in the press conference, which is always fun between the pros. Then the next day we had another early start because we were actually going to be doing the Pro AM relay. So all of the pros were doing the 800 metre swim leg of a sprint triathlon relay. So there was quite a lot of competitiveness, a bit of banter with Starkey, who was trying to convince us to do butterfly to the first buoy, which I think he actually did. So yeah, loads of fun doing that. That was actually brutal as well. Like, I was quite glad we did that swim because it was a little warm up for what was going to be painful in the evening. So yeah, that was pretty fun. After that I went and chilled out for a bit. Reese's relay actually won, so we went back to collect the award with his team and see some of the age groupers get their awards from doing the sprint triathlon. I think they had a duathlon as well, so and maybe even an aquathon too. So yeah, we got to see all the age groupers get their awards in the big stadium there. And then we went back, had a bit of a rest, and then we had our actual race. So yeah, as you can gather, it was a pretty busy couple of days, and I did get on the start line a bit tired. When the race starts at 4 PM or 4:30 PM I think it was, that's like 9:30 PM in the UK, so I was tired, thinking actually I could go to bed now and not start a race. So yeah, but it was fun. So the race itself, I went in with very low expectations, having really done a lot less training than I ever would leading into a race. I think maybe I was lucky I had a small bit of my Kona fitness left over from 8-9 weeks ago. But the expectation was low, so for me I went in with very little pressure, which is nice because I normally apply a lot of pressure on myself. So from the beginning I was super relaxed, really chilled. The swim itself did go probably pretty well. I didn't expect it to go that well. We had a 2-lap swim, so it was a mile swim in a wetsuit, so I think that probably helped as well because it saves you a little bit if you haven't got a wetsuit. Got out the swim with, I think, over a minute lead on the other girls, which was probably about right. I reckon obviously if I'd swum a bit more, probably would have had a little bit more time, but that was fine to have a minute. Then running through transition, I remember it being really windy, so the wind was actually catching my bike a bit as I was running with it. Then we're all coming out onto the track doing 15 laps on the bike, side by side. I've got the likes of Lionel, Starkey, and having my husband there as well, all flying past on the bike, so you're getting a real gauge of how quick the male pros are going. And then to be in the race, I obviously had Paula and Lisa Norden on the bike, who caught me about halfway. So then we were jostling for position, kind of, I actually was braving the banks, dropping back in a bit, having a bit more fun than I probably normally would in a race. And kind of got going on the bike, and my power was pretty good. It wasn't where it'd normally be on a kind of 70.3 distance, but it was better than I deserved, I think. So I was pretty happy with that. And as I said, doing the weekend rides with the guys, we've done a few of them now that have been up to 4 hours, which normally in the winter I wouldn't ride that long, so that definitely helped me. And to be honest, I didn't really fade on the bike, which was nice. And when I eventually got caught by Lisa and Paula, I was able to stick in with them, jostle back in for position, and actually get first off the bike at the end as well. So yeah, I was quite surprised, but again, I have done a lot of work this year, so some of that was probably still in there. And then I remember coming into T2, because it was dark, it was actually really difficult to see where we were going, so we were a little bit disorientated. Then we got back into T2. I actually had a Red Bull in T2 and ran the first part of the run with that, because as I said, when you start a race at 9:30 PM UK time, 4:30 in America, you kind of want to go to bed. So a bit of caffeine there definitely helped me on that run. I came out onto the run, me and Paula ran side by side for, I think, the first 6 kilometres, and then my lack of run training or fitness kind of started to show up a bit. And for me, I kind of knew if I could hang in on second, then I would move up to that second place in the global ranking for the end of year bonus. But I'm not someone who gives up, so unfortunately my lack of fitness just showed there, and I had to settle for second place. But I really enjoyed running side by side. It's something I don't often get to do in races, so actually having a real battle was so much fun. And yeah, I would hope to race a lot more like that, and hopefully I will get to do that in some 70.3s and in some Ironmans, just have some real battles along the way, because it's exciting for everyone else, and it's way more interesting as an athlete to actually be running with someone. So yeah, I actually was really pleased with the race. I didn't expect to do that well, and to come away with a second place in December when I don't normally race, yeah, I'm really happy with that.
You know what, I really expected to do really badly, so to actually come away with second was quite a surprise, because Reece will tell you I've kind of just been being a dog mum since Kona. I haven't done a huge amount of work. I've kind of done a bit more than last year. Last year we were like, this was the night before our wedding, so it's a little bit different, and I'm definitely fitter than last year, which is nice. It's kept me fit. But we've only done like a few cross countries, a park run, which were 5K and 8K. So at about 6K, I was like, oh God, this is really starting to hurt now. So I was pretty pleased it wasn't actually a half distance, it was a bit less. It still felt like quite a long time being out there, but it was actually fun.
So what's next for Team Charles Barclay? In the very near future we're building up to Christmas, so I've got about a marathon of rapping to do, which is always fun. On Saturday we have a Christmas time trial to do, so Reece and I will probably do that in fancy dress on our bikes, maybe make it into a slightly longer ride as well. Then on Sunday we're doing a Santa run, so Lola is going to be wearing her Christmas jumper, me and all the family are going to be in Santa outfits, and we have a 5K run to do. So that should be loads of fun. And then basically just ticking over until the new year now. As soon as January 1st comes around, it's back to serious work for me. So I'm enjoying the last kind of 2 weeks of half-heartedness and ticking along, and then yeah, back to serious work. We have an early camp planned in Club La Centre in Lanzarote in January, so that's when we will hopefully get our fitness starting to come back a bit. Very, very soon we will be announcing the first race of 2020, so definitely keep your eyes peeled to find out where we're going to be heading in the new year.